What's going on, guys? Hey, I just wanted to give you guys a quick little video here. As you guys seen in my previous video, AJ and I were at the skate park yesterday and we were tearing it up, and I ran the Rustler through, as you guys can see, a puddle. Up to this point, I have done my best to keep this thing out of the water for, various reasons, really. But the main one being, that right in there, that little bit of rust that gets in there. I was trying to keep this thing, as rust free as possible. So what I'm going to be doing, guys, is I'm going to be pretty much stripping this car down, taking the shocks off, all this stuff here, all the front end, and giving it a good cleaning and putting some WD-40 on it, which will help, make it look new again. And the WD-40 also helps keep the plastic from becoming brittle, or so brittle. It actually gives it some flexibility. It's just plastic parts, and plastic is porous. So the WD-40, or there's some other cleaners, that do the same thing. But excuse the fan in the background, as you guys, I'm sure, are familiar with that sound. But yeah, so I'm going to be, taking this apart here, getting this looking new again. Like I said, I don't like my receipts to look raggedy. This is raggedy to me, Teach their own, and some people don't mind it looking, muddy and stuff, and that's fine, nothing against that. But for me personally, like I said, this is my Rustler, and this is supposed to be a on-street car, but with AJ's Rustler, it's kind of become like an on-road / dirt gravel. But like I said yesterday, I didn't even see this little puddle, and it ran right down into it. They didn't submerge the car or anything like that. It's waterproof or water resistant, but it didn't submerge it or anything, but it just made a mess out of everything. Alright, guys, this is another little update here. As you guys can see, I have the Rustler apart. Well, some of it's apart anyways. Have it down to the bare chassis here. Excuse me. Here's the front end, and here's a perfect example of what I was talking about here with water. As you guys can see here, just by just a little bit of water, it's already kind of like giving some of the screws a little bit of a rust look. As you guys can see there, so like I said, it's just good just to literally take everything apart and give it a real good clean. Like I said, this is just starting here. Just want to give you guys a update. So yeah, like I said, when I clean my RC, guys, I literally take it apart. I literally take it apart. I take the front end apart. This is not apart yet. I just have to take this off here. I'm gonna take the shock tower off. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm literally gonna get in every little spot, everything in there. It's just dirty. It's dusty. Told AJ, I said he should do it to his as well, because really, it does help the longevity of these, especially, the transmission part of it. You know, where your drivetrains are at, you know, where your drive shafts are at, where, you know, everything kind of works together. You don't want it all gunked up. You know, you don't want a bunch of crap up in there. You know, look at that. It's ridiculous. You know, and all these little pieces of sand and dirt and everything's all in there, and you just don't want that. You know, you want to have a good operating and functioning vehicle. You know, you don't want to be out there rolling around and you know, fighting all the dirt and grime that's in there. You know, especially if you're trying to do like speed runs and you know, stuff like that. You know, all these little pebbles of dirt and sand and rock and just gunk, I mean, it all affects it. So it's just good practice to really clean your, you know, your RC. Like I said, it does take some time, especially if you're gonna do a thorough job. I don't know. I recommend maybe doing it like once a month, maybe. That's my suggestion. I don't know what you guys think. But yeah, I'm just gonna continue breaking this down. Little update for you guys here. The Rustler's coming back together just wonderfully. I got it cleaned up. You guys can still see a little bit of residue on there, but it's a lot cleaner than what it was. As you guys can see, the front end is still in pieces, but it's all cleaned up, looking good, looking shiny, looking pretty brand new. Got some front end parts here that need to be put back on. You guys can see. Basically what I did, guys, is I just simply got some warm water and, you know, ran all my plastic parts. I even ran the front end, even with all the links. I ran it all underwater. You know, washed it off real good and got the dirt and stuff off there. And then what I simply did is I took WD-40, and, you know, after they weren't completely dry, but they were about 95% dry. Took some WD-40 and took my wonderful washcloth or rag, whatever you want to call it here. It's a rag now. We don't use it for anything. It's full of WD-40. And just wiped everything down with WD-40. I made sure that I got these metal pieces, all the screws and stuff, that I put in water. Made sure I got all these good and wiped it all down and started putting it back together. Now, I do want to give you guys a quick update here on what you guys see here. Guys, notice I made two slots, two little slits right here. One on each side. I started with just this side here, and then I decided I'll just go ahead and do this one here. It's my first time doing it, so it is a little bit sloppy. I used a Dremel, however you want to pronounce it. It worked very well. It cut right through the material. But the reason why I did that was because, as you guys know from my previous videos here, the way that my LiPo batteries, how its leads come out, it's not like the other battery that I had. So I had to make some adjustments here. So this way I put the slits on both sides. This way, if I want to have the battery, oh, sorry for the hand in the way there. If I want to have the battery like that, it'll actually fit down in there now, and I can still put the battery brace on there, okay? Or if I wanted to have it going the other way, I could do that as well. Because I also thought about, after I made this slit over here, that the antenna comes up right here. So if I have it switched the other way, I didn't know if the wires would interfere with the antenna and the electronics. So that's why I went ahead and just made them on both sides. Like I said, you guys can use a Dremel for this, Dremel, whatever. And like I said, it makes pretty quick work of this. And that's the modification that I made for that. Everything else stayed the same. Like I said, my battery fits in here. It was just the way that the wire leads came out. That was my issue. And now that I made these little grooves in here, that doesn't seem to be an issue. So, alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and continue rebuilding this. Alright guys, got my front end rebuilt on the Rustler here. As you can see, it looks pretty nice. You know. Alright guys, so I cleaned up the back assembly here quite a bit. Could have did a little bit better job, but I mean, I got all the nitty gritty out of there and stuff, and everything's flowing free. I took the bearings out of each side and made sure they were free and good to go. I also took care of my troubled pinion gear, stock pinion gear here. You guys can see what I did. Didn't have a chance. I just took the Dremel and basically just kept going at it until the grub screw was pretty much all eaten up, and then this thing finally just fell off, really. Also the same thing, AJ's stock pinion gear is, like I said, you know, in some of my videos back, they're just on there too tight, and I ended up rounding off the grub screw. But as you guys can see here, I have the aftermarket, if you will. Traxxas provides it, but you know, it's the aftermarket pinion there. I forgot what tooth it was, but anyways, got that on there. Got it locked tight to the shaft there. I got a little too much Loctite on there. I'll go ahead and clean that up a little bit, but got Loctite on there. There is the pinion gear. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the cap back on this here and get this reassembled to the truck, and the Rustler will be back in business. Alright guys, here we have it, the final product here, if you will. So I'll put back together. Got it pretty cleaned up. You know, there's a couple of areas that I could have did a little bit better, but definitely a lot better than what it was. You guys can see it doesn't look all crazy. Looks pretty good. You know, again, here you guys can see a little bit better my battery setup here, where I cut them 2 slots out. Did a little modification to the chassis. You guys can see the battery leads come perfectly through there and up here. I had it over here, but like I was saying, it was kind of interfering with the antenna. I was wanting to go around it as opposed to like in front of it. So I just moved it over here, which seems to work pretty good. So, alright guys, thanks for watching this video. Like I said, you know, it is important to keep your vehicles clean for the longevity of them. I know it is a pain in the butt task to do. I don't really enjoy doing it, but it's something that needs to be done. Especially if, you know, you guys run them off-road and get them all gunked up. So anyways guys, just wanted to give you guys this video here of my cleaning progress of the Rustler. This vehicle was never intended to be off-road, never intended to be driven, you know, in wet conditions, and I've kind of altered a little bit from that. I've deviated a little bit from that, but I definitely don't want to keep running it in water. Like I said, the puddle that I went in that caused all this, I didn't even see it. If I did, of course, I wouldn't have even gone over there. So, alright guys, as usual, please comment, like, and subscribe. As I've mentioned in all my previous videos lately, B and C Ultimate RC is doing a subscription drive. So I will have a link to his video about that video at the end of my video. If you guys would, please go over there and give him a subscription. Go ahead and like the video and put in the comments below in that video that Nick Stahl sent you, and that will give me a tally mark for the tally mark towards the winning prize, which he's giving away in RC. So anyways guys, hope you guys enjoyed this, and until next time, see y'all later.